Alrighty-ho, then we're active indeed, and hopefully we shall get things to work properly. Let's see. Without further ado, I do have to say, welcome indeed to this stream, video, whatever it's gonna be in the future. I'll see if I'll upload it to YouTube, but anyway, welcome indeed, and so yeah. And as the title says today, it's a little bit of, it's a little bit of therapy construction. It's been a bit of an interesting day so far. I got exams coming up on Monday, and it's just been one of those days. Oh God, yeah, I'm just, what do they say? I can't even. So yeah. What I gotta do now is just gotta check if everything is alright and check if everything is settings. What do they say? Yeah, okay, so I do apologize in the beginning. I just gotta make sure sometimes that, you know, everything's set and ready to go, how it's supposed to be. Stream configuration quality excellent. So it's supposed to be good. And yeah, I am quite active. We're online and all that stuff. I'm not sure how to talk today because, you know, I am just tired. I'll just have to turn down the audio just slightly when it comes to the music. I can just go with the UI volume. Hang on. Was that the master volume? No, I'll just do that. There we go. That should help. Indeed it does. Okay. Yeah, as I've said, I'm just, it's just one of those days. Managed to hurt my jaw on the right side, and I don't know, I just think it is a neck injury. I've had this similar kind of injuries before, and it's just really annoying. But anyway, okay, so let's see. At the current time, I've got 2 builders. Are they actually building anything? No, you are not building anything, but you're set as a builder. So are you building anything? You're a builder, but you don't have any workplace. Okay, so there's no roads that is being built either. So I'm gonna turn you off. Okay, so the roads will have to go over there. I can plan the future expansion, but I don't have enough people living there yet. Okay. So I can see indeed. Well, we have the hospital up and running with a physician. Is the physician actually educated? You are educated, yes, so that's actually very good. It makes sense that, you know, the physician is educated. Other than that, we have... Oh yeah, also, by the way, if it looks a bit odd, the screen, I'm just trying out this new different overlay. So I do apologize for if, for example, the profession window is a little bit obscured. You know, if anyone later sees this and wants me to change it, just tell me and I can, for example, move them about a little bit so people can see them more clearly. Because I do know sometimes when it comes to Banished and stuff like that, it does help if you, as a, you know, a spectator, can actually also see it, because, you know, these kind of things aren't exactly just for me to play. It's something that, you know, a lot of people, you know, want sometimes to join in on, ask questions, help in the, you know, making of this village, or at least in a Banished type of game. The same goes with Supreme Commander. You already have a lot of, like, inlays, user interfaces. So having a set that is different from the game itself will sometimes distort it and make it a little bit odd. But it is fun though that I managed to, like, make the interface to look like this now. It's gonna be fun to see if, you know, if that is something I will try to go for. And, you know, since I've been trying now to fix my Twitch a little bit, so it actually makes sense now with, you know, information about me and all that stuff. So, I mean, I always thought, you know, all the other Twitch streamers had, oh, it looks so professional and stuff like that. And I'm trying now at least to make it work. I'm not sure if it works well, but, you know. Okay, so we got 7 laborers at the current time. And right now I'm just fetching resources because I just need the resources so I can plan future expansions. I do have food. I got a lot of cabbage, corn. I got berries and fish. And still one on fish. I don't need any more than that. So yeah. Other than that, we have mushroom, venison, roots, onions. How many people do we have? We have 3 people on the gatherer's hut. And they do manage to get a nice amount of food. We have 2 people cutting and planting trees, and with the mod, luckily the trees will grow at least a fairly steady rate. So, all in all, not too bad actually. It is early winter, so there's not too much that I can do due to the fact that they can't walk that far away from their homes because they're going to start to freeze, or fryselit, as we say in Norwegian. But I will have to figure out something that I can build. At the current time we have, let's see, we have a 13-year-old student, we have a 20-year-old guy there, a 13-year-old girl, 11-year-old boy, 12-year-old, 7 and 4. Okay, so what I will most likely have to do is wait for her to turn 14. She will move in with the 20-year-old guy, and she's 14-year-old, and there was a 13-year-old boy here, I think. Where was the... yeah, okay, so he's turned 14. She has also turned 14. She is 14 as well. That means I can actually build 2 houses now, so that's very good. We can actually do that. We have enough resources, we have enough laborers. Now, where should we put those, though? Should we have this church area? We should probably keep that separated. So, what I want to do is that... Should I have it right next to the marketplace? I should perhaps have... Yeah, it could look good. Let's change the look of the house. I think actually this would look better to have next to the marketplace, because then you have the porch area, then you can go straight into work at the marketplace. I think that looks good. So if you have 2 houses of similar, what do you call it? That they look the same, that could be like the marketplace workhouses, so that there's shorter distance to the workplace. That will also clear up workplaces for future laborers for these areas, so that's good. We are currently winter, so we have enough time, we have enough firewood. I might just have one guy on the woodcutter though, just in case, since we are currently down to 163 firewood, and they all have firewood if I remember correctly. So they will, yeah, they'll do very well. Marketplace is nice and full, the same with the storage barn. It was actually a nice investment that I actually managed to get the marketplace, because that cleared up a lot of space for the storage barn. And tool-wise, we're still okay, since I'm just only building one or two buildings every now and then. Yeah, this should be nice. Welcome indeed to the one person that is in the stream. I do apologize if the camera is a bit odd of the lighting and such. You know, I don't really have any fancy setups when it actually comes to this stuff. The microphone is basically the thing that I actually invested in, but that is also because I like just making music. I don't post that much music, but I like making it. It's more of a hobby. So yeah. And as the title says, you know, getting... What? Didn't I change? I could swear I changed it. Are you shitting me? Oh, the title of this broadcast needs to be changed. Well, that was annoying. I thought I'd really changed... I forgot to press the update. Okay, then. Did I really forgot that? That is annoying. That is annoying. Okay, I do apologize. That explains it. I gotta change it. And we are not playing Age of Empires 2 at the current moment. That is a little bit far away from the truth. If that had been the case, that would... Okay, there we go. Fantastic. Okay. This makes more sense now. There we go, finally, okay. I screwed up majorly. I really thought it was... I'm not used to streaming. I'm more used to having the ability to actually edit it, you know, just record a video and then edit it afterwards. Okay, so now it makes more sense. Since I changed it back to therapy construction, banished gameplay. Oops. Oh well. You know, tools of a trade, I get more used to it as I go along. So yeah. At the current time, not much happening though. We're still waiting for these houses to be built. We have the 14-year-olds, the 14-year-old guy here, and the 14-year-old girl here, and the 14-year-old girl here, and the 21-year-old. That'll allow us to get 2 more families. And it still feels a bit wrong though, a 21-year-old guy with a 14-year-old girl. And this is interesting, the 21-year-old moved in along with the... Where did the 14-year-old go? So, okay, so they are going in together then. Interesting. Well, we now have the houses completed. Smashing. Might actually have to amp up the production of the clothing though, so I have that in order. Indeed, okay, so now it's late winter, it's 0 degrees actually. I am very confused due to the fact that I turned the weather conditions to harsh, which, you know, in experience should actually be, you know, give me harsher climate. Though I suppose the seasons just might vary more, so sometimes I might have very mild temperatures and sometimes it can actually be, you know, colder. Okay, so now it's late winter, it's +1 degrees, but I don't really trust the thermostat yet, because it has happened that during the late winter it has been 3 degrees, and then early spring comes and it just plummets down to -1, and it messes up my crops. So I regularly, you know, under normal circumstances, I don't like actually getting crops until I have early spring with 2 or 3 degrees at least, because it makes more sense to me that there has to be 3 or 4 degrees in real life as well before you can actually have any sort of actually, you know, you can get anything into the soil. At least from my experience, you know, I grew up in the countryside, so I mean, you should technically have it warmer than that, but you can... Like, you can in technicality start around that time, but that's just to make sure the soil is ready. So you should technically wait until it's a little bit warmer though, but you know, game mechanic wise you can start as early as that. I'm not sure if the game is that advanced though, so you know, if the temperature actually affects it, if it is, as long as it is + degrees. Okay, we're currently at early spring and it is actually warm. So what I'm going to do is that we have 5 laborers. You can't see it though because of the overlay, and I do apologize for that. Just, you know, it is something I'm just trying to get to figure out. So normally a 7x7 is something that 1 person can do, but I know that 14x14 is something that 2 people can't do, because in that then it'll be 3 times or 4 times as big. So what I can do is 7x7 and then make it 14x7, because then that technically then will be for 2 people. So I can do a crop field like this, and we still have some corn. We have 4 on the corn, so I'm gonna go for cabbage this time. Get 2 people, and just to make sure that we actually manage to get everything in, I'm gonna make sure 3 people are on that corn. And it's actually 8 degrees, so this is going to be a very warm spring actually. So this is perfect weather conditions to actually start planting the seeds. So very surprising indeed. Okay, so we have 2 laborers at the current time, 3 gatherers, 2 hunters. Anything we can turn off though. At the current time we are now back into spring. I can stop the wood production, which can be useful. Then we have 3 laborers. You have... What the deuce? I thought 14-year-olds meant that you could move in together. Or have I missed something here? The 44-year-old Flemington vendor, he moved into the house. I'm confused and annoyed. And I don't want to build another house yet because I don't know if that someone has to be a laborer to actually, you know, get together with someone that is 14, 15-year-old. Now, they are both 15, so I could try to build another house, or I could just try to upgrade this house, and hopefully, you know, then he will be evicted along with the kid. They will move into another house, I think, at least, if there's room for it. If not, I'll just have to build another house to remedy that situation. If that is the case, yeah, I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to upgrade this. I have enough stone, I have enough iron and wood. So I'm going to upgrade this here so that we can hopefully get new people to move in, because I want a bigger population. It has paid off, I feel, with the schoolhouse, that it takes longer for me to get laborers manually in that way. But, you know, since they're educated, they will actually have a better option of becoming, you know, educated. So, house-wise, we're doing good. We're gonna get enough food, and at this point, in the beginning, it doesn't really feel like I have that much planned, because a lot of the times it is just to survive, in my opinion. A lot of the games just revolves around surviving and play as long as you can to just get up a big population, and then when I have a certain big amount of population and a lot of people living in houses that I can't build enough houses in my main area, I have to then plan the next expansion, which is over here, with a lot of tunnels being planned, with fishing docks, the market and storage barn, which I should also plan the stockpile, but the stockpile I can't pause, which means that people will actually walk over there, which then begs the question that I might then just plan a road just for simplicity's sake. I have enough stone, so I might actually just build, yeah, I might actually just build over here, and yeah, I'm just gonna do that. And it will take time, because they have to get the stone from here, go here, back and forth, and the longer they go away from the stone stockpile, they will have to work more. But at the same time, it is a future investment, because then, you know, they'll walk 50% faster on the stone roads, and they'll walk automatically faster on stone roads. So mods have really helped improve this game, I have to admit. And just to make sure that everything is planned here, 4x4, get this wooden house fixed, and we still have everyone has a house, so just building this house or fixing it or upgrading it will then make sure that hopefully people can move in, because these two are 15-year-old, and other than that I have an 11-year-old, a 12-year-old, 7, 9, 13 and 6. Yeah, so those two 15-year-olds are realistically the only two that can actually currently move into a new house, I would feel. I don't know if it is because they are students that they can't technically move into a new place, but, you know, I'm a student, however, I am 23 years old, so yeah, I kind of, the logic there I didn't really add up in them. You know, there's a reason why I stopped, you know, mathematics at a certain point in school and focus more on language, and I'm not sure where I'm going with this, so yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with this stream here. It's not really that much of a logic behind the stream, it is just basically relaxation, as it now hopefully says in this stream title, the therapy construction, you know, because, you know, I'm just tired. I've had a bit of an interesting start of the day where I hurt my jaw a bit back, a few days back, and I think it's a neck injury. I've had this similar pain before, and the last time that happened, I didn't manage to get sleep for 3 days because of the pain, so I want to, you know, get to the doctor as soon as I can, which is soon. So now I'm just basically just relaxing a bit, first of all waiting just for the painkillers to kick in, and then I can keep, you know, studying due to the exams on Monday, and also since I have to work during the weekend, I'm not sure if I will be able to get a stream going then, so I'm just streaming now. there's a lot of things sparking this, you know, reason for streaming now and stuff like that, and also just because I feel like it. As you know, it says usually I stream on Fridays or Saturdays, you know, because that's usually the times when I have time for it. But I will occasionally sometimes just stream randomly during the middle of the week if I have time or feel like, okay, now I want to do it. There's no real reason or logic behind it, I feel, but you know, it is nice to just have it. And I screwed up, I think, here, because the road seems to have... What? No, that can't make sense. And... Well, you know, I can just... What? No. Okay, so that is the place into the marketplace. So I can do that to get, you know, a bit of synchronization with the roads, but I'll spend more stone, so I will wait a little bit. They will automatically move alongside the road if they're going into straight file, but, you know, straight line, because then, okay, the road will be faster than going outside of the roads. So in that sense, you know, the roads will be useful, even though it doesn't look that well. I really love symmetry in the terms of when I plan my cities, or city build or city planning. I absolutely loved one of my expansions I had in my my best save, I feel. How everything was neatly put out so that I had a boarding house, I had rows and neighborhoods of houses, a agricultural area, I had an area designated for pastures, I had 3 separate places for gathering hut, hunter's lodge, and lumberjacks or log cab, or what's the name of that again? The forester lodge, or, you know, lumber camp. Okay, so late spring. It is going a little bit slow, so I'm closing it up to My voice doesn't seem to function today properly, which is probably on best that I just put it into a therapy construction theme of this, where I just relax. I don't know. So let's see. At the current time, the market is 44% full. We have enough food, and whoa, we have a lot of amount of stored clothing now. Actually, now that I think about it, how much leather do we have? We have actually a lot of leather, and this person will just keep making the clothing. We might as well just make a lot of it so that we have. And tools, I feel that we need tools. I'm gonna actually stop the production of the clothing, because we now have 54 hide coats, I think. Yes, and we need tools now, so we have enough iron and logs for that. Might have to get more though. And we still need to just get this road done, so I'm just gonna plus things up a bit. And I'm gonna cancel the gathering of resources here, so that the one laborer will not just walk around at random. And yeah, collect some iron for me. That would be nice. There we go. There we go indeed. Okay, so let's see now. Now that the stone house has been completed, how is it when it comes to people that are moved in? Gradin, a 39-year-old guy, and Helinette, which is a 12-year-old student. What? What happened to these guys then? The 16-year-old and the laborer, and the student. You are... Wait a minute, aren't you educated? You are educated. Why haven't you graduated yet? Doesn't really matter now. Now that one of them is a laborer, I can get another house. Ooh, didn't think of that. I'm gonna get the... Hang on. How can I build a road then? The road can be built around like that. Okay, so that is the area. Good, then I can get a house on this side here. And I'm gonna do that, and that. And I got 3 laborers now. I think the next planning would be getting the trading post, because then I can step up the hunting cabin so I can get more leather. With more leather, not leather, with more leather, I can get more hide coats, which is quite valuable actually. And I do have a lot of herbs, which I can also put into the trader, along with firewood if I just keep the woodcutter on at a consistent rate. Because, you know, firewood is replenishable. It's one of the few resources that are... if you plan to build well enough, you can actually get it an infinite amount of it, because you can replant the trees. So, not too bad. And I got 460 amount of stored logs, so this woodcutter could now just be on for the whole summer. Or the whole, like the whole seasons, all of the seasons. Yes. That is some quality English for you. I can at least use the excuse that I'm Norwegian. English is not my native language, but you know, at the same time, I don't know. How much stone do you have in inventory? You have 8 stone, so you will be able to build 7 more roads, which is good. Soon the road will be done, and then I can start to... In the beginning, even though I will eventually get gatherers' huts and forester lodges, I tend to actually just wipe out the entire area of resources, so I can see more how I want to build and plan. Also, it helps the construction along, so that I don't have to spend too much time gathering the resources when I'm actually building the... Hey! Someone followed me. Thank you. I'm not sure why the notification didn't come up on the screen. I will probably have to fix that. Hey! Thank you so much for following. That's really nice. I really appreciate it. Hope you will in the future enjoy more of this, and I do play a lot of stuff, a lot of other stuff as well. I'm really sorry. My I don't have any sort of logic-based system behind my rambling today. It's just completely as backward random what I'm actually saying. So, I just hope you guys just deal with it or survive. Yeah, that's the thing. Hello indeed, JFC. How do you do this this amazing day? Amazing indeed. That's one way to put it. Amazing smazing. Oh, wait a minute. I got this house done. Yes, finally! Sevardo and Pamela, which were my two 16-year-olds. Sweet 16-year-olds and their sweet tender love. Not that I have much choice in the matter, though. This is for the survival of the future village, so they just have to deal with it, even though they don't like it. Oh, gods, I just made this into a very drama scene. Almost like a soap opera. Please, please, for the future of our village, you have to be together. You have to repopulate this. Oh, god, this got really weird. Especially considering the fact that I just started with 10 adults. So, technically a lot of incest here. Which is... I'm making this sound way more creepy than this game is. It's actually a really nice, calming and relaxing game, don't get me wrong. And, you know, the game mechanics is very simplistic, which sometimes makes it a little bit... seem a little bit unforgiving sometimes. So, yeah. But yeah, now we managed to at least get, you know, we have one stone house, which has a beautiful look. I really like when the, one of the stone houses, let's see if we can see how it looks. I really like the stone house with a small tower room, because I love to imagine that the bedroom is in the small tower. And, you know, the size doesn't really match up with how big they are. But I really like to imagine that the bedroom is in the tower, then the kitchen slash living room is in the main building, and... so where the, oh, what do you call it? The, skorstein, the peep, the pipe, the fireplace. That's where, like, the living room slash kitchen is, and in one of the small corners you, well, if you are very, what's the word? Advanced, educated, or you know how, well, we don't have sewers. So you can't exactly have an outdoor toilet indoors, because then you basically just made a large hole into the ground and covered it up so you can go to the toilet on it. You're gonna get a lot of manure though, so you can, get your crops fixed. I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but it would be nice if I just... Oh, that would have been very cool though if you could have a mod that gave you the possibility of sewers. I have no idea how you would incorporate that into the game. For example, that they build a sewer line along the houses and you have to like get a tube into the water. But you will have then to get the tube going all the way, for example, down here. Because if you do it from this point, all of this here will then be slowly turning brown. I think I'm overthinking this of how a mod could be. So yeah. But let's see. The road here is almost finished, which is good because I got 3 laborers. I got 3 people working on the crop field here. Once I get the cabbage for this crop field, I will be able to plan a little bit more ahead, which is to get the trading post up and running. If I can get either hold of sheep or just trade some wool, I can use the tailor to give me warm coats, which will allow people to work for longer during the winter, so it won't be that as cold, and they'll survive longer though. So if they are starting to freeze, and let's say they're way up here working, and suddenly, oh shit, I gotta get food, I'm cold, they will most likely survive to get to the nearest house to actually, warm themselves. Don't make that bet though. If you try to gather resources up here and they try to go back home, they will most likely starve to death, because, while they are very persistent in doing their duty as what you tell them to do, you gotta look after them. Oh lordy lord, I've lost too many villages to plain stupidity. And okay, so the crop field was a little bit too big then, I suppose, since I didn't get the full yield here, which is annoying because I'd put 3 villages on this. So either have to put 4 villages, which is, I feel, a little bit overkill for a 7x14 crop field, or I have to get roads all around it. But then I feel that, this is a basic place I just put it, so I just have it at the current time. It's not easy, but at least we're going to be able to gather up the resources. And why are there only 2 people working on this thing here? There you are. Where have you been working? Where have you been, Dolores? Wait, Dolores, then you're a dude? Okay, well, my name is Rune, so, could just be, Henriette. And what other names do we have? Perlind. Hang on, just gotta turn down the speed a little bit. What names do we have again? We have Hard. Interesting name there. Lillicent, Burgeon, Lances. Galantes. That's actually a very cool name now that I think about it. Mela, Jesse or Jesse. Billa. Kinda. Why don't you have anyone living at your place anymore? Did someone die? No, I can't see anyone dying. There's no graves here, so he just... Did someone have a divorce? Anyway, Flemington is 47, Perlind, Ballan, Rose, Dolores, Terrell, Velinor. We have Elio, Joeline, Armon, Yolondin. That's actually a very cool name as well, I do have to admit. We have Perle, Winifredi, Andres, Chauncey, Chanelame. That's a long name. Hobarth, Lassity, Ibrahim, Bentunia, Kyoshio? Not sure. Allerton, Cecily, Kalisha. I gotta say though, sometimes the names can be very silly in this name generator, but sometimes they can actually be very epic. Lemon, Alani, Pennell, Mistia, and then lastly we have Terry K, Henriette, Seasoned, Gradin, Herlinet, and Sevardo, and Permela. So we're starting to get a lot of people, and we now have a lot of tools as well. We have a lot of clothing, and thusly, how's the road looking? The road is done. Okay, so what I'm gonna do then is that I'm going to tell them to gather up the resources along the road first, because that'll help, speed up the process. turn people off the builders, and hopefully they'll, you know, move a little bit quicker over here. I might, because the marketplace can reach over here, get houses here and orchard or something here, because I'm thinking of getting stone roads in this area here to get almost like a stone plaza. It doesn't really serve a purpose, it just looks nice, I think. You know, since it is the church, it's supposed to be like a place of gathering where people can talk and listen to the preacher in tough times ahead. And you got the hospital right next to it, so that you will get a speedy delivery in case the patients need a little bit of guidance, or if they need a speedy funeral into the 7 or 6 foot under delivery service. Yes. I can't smile too much, that hurts. I wish punching my jaw would help solve the problem. You know, like sometimes you can do with machinery. If was I do apologize. It's gonna be quiet for a small second here, but fret not, I will continue my rambling shortly. It might be positive or it might be negative, depending on your preference. I mean, considering the fact that from what it looks like, I still have 2 people here. Indeed, hi indeed. And if you're still here, due to the fact that even though I'm just talking randomly, it means that you don't mind, or at least you accept it, which is then a good indication that I should keep talking. I have no idea, to be honest. Sometimes I just wing this. I have no idea how to be successful at... Okay, now that sounded very, very negative. I almost saying I have no idea how to be successful at anything. Yeah, okay, that made it sound very depressing. I know I have things I am good at, or at least, you know, decent at. Oh, that's so annoying with the Norwegian stuff. We have this thing called the jantelov, janteloven, or the jante law. You know, you're not supposed to think that you're better than others, and you know, you're not supposed to be worse than others, but you're not supposed to be better than others as well, or at least not brag about it. So if I, for example, I love to sing, and I would say that I know how to sing, at least to a certain extent, but I'm not allowed to say that. In Norway, I can't go up to someone, you know, in a conversation and say, yeah, I can sing. You can say, yeah, I think I sing. I do have a nice, or I have a okay voice. You're perfectly allowed to say that, but you're not allowed to say that. Yes, I can sing. I am good at it. Then you will come off as a person that just brags a lot, and I would at least think that is normal for most places in the world, but I don't know. But I'm digressing because I was supposed to send a message, and this, yeah. Okay, 1 second. La meg se. Der, vet du. Da skal vi få til det, vet du. Godt å være hjemme. Hjemme, ja. Der, vet du. Så da har vi sendt en melding. There we go. That didn't take very long once I actually tried to type. So, yeah. Yeah, but what I was saying earlier about, you know, playing these kind of games here of Banished is that I've tried sometimes, because I know from a fact that if I try to play against other players online in a competitive way, I know that most likely due to the fact that my judgment has been impaired slightly due to the fact that I'm tired and I get more easily annoyed. So in most instances when I play competitive online, for example the strategy game Supreme Commander, I actually end up more often than not, you know, losing, which then, you know, sours my mood even more. And I don't want to cause that pain on anyone else, because, you know, that just annoys me. I don't want to be an hindrance for others, because I hate it. And that's not an understatement either, like overstatement, I mean, of saying that I really dislike it when people are angry in chat or voice chat, it depends on what game you're playing, where you play a game and you try to have a good time and someone then apparently had a bit of a bad day, they try to play video games, and they lose, and they get angry, and they call everyone else bad names or just makes it very bad experience for everyone else. And I hate the fact of ending up being that guy. So if that happens, I can be so angry. I have actually, even though I hate it myself, I have actually rage quitted sometimes. It has been in the game, the Warhammer Blood Bowl video game, due to the fact that sometimes you just don't have dice luck in the video game. It is a sort of a Warhammer tabletop meets rugby, so you can end up actually killing other players, damaging them, hurting them. So use Warhammer elves, orcs, humans, goblins, and stuff like that to fight to get the ball across the field in rugby or American football, I suppose. So yeah, so these are the kind of games that I like to play because I am the only one playing in that sense. Since it is single player, and if something happens, it's my own fault, or it's a game mechanic that causes it. It's not some other player that I can put the blame on, which is really, really nice, because then it gives more of a safe feeling that I know that I can't take my frustration out on someone else, which is, very, very nice. Yeah, this is turning into a very interesting way of that. When I play with others, I tend to, we tend to be more loosely relaxed, just jokey and stuff like that. When I, play these kind of games, I tend to try to have more of a discussion or talk. That it's not that I get it off my chest, it's just that I end up just talking about it in a sense. It might not make much sense in that sense. That's a lot of sense. I can sense that. But yeah. And at the current time we have 11 laborers, which will help speed up the process of getting these resources. And once I get this stone, a little bit of extra iron, I got a lot of logs, which, you know what? I'm gonna say, and I do pardon the language here, but I'm gonna say screw it. We're gonna now build a trader. We have a hospital, so we can actually make sure people are happy and safe. And now I'm going to start also making this into a nice looking place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare this place to become the town square sort of place. We're also going to place out a well then. So I'm going to have the well here. And I'm going to pause this because I don't want people to put more stone on that at the current time. And start stoning this off. Again, it doesn't really have any, it doesn't serve any purpose of the game mechanic wise of being of any use, but I like it when I have, as the town looks good. I don't really feel that there's a point of playing this game if I don't actually enjoy the side of my town. And it will help in one sense, because then people will move faster, because then I don't have to walk over like that or to get to some place. Then I can just walk straight over it, or this is a place where I can idle, because sometimes they idle alongside a well as well. Haha, well. Because I sometimes see, for example, here kids, or other people that are adults, they idle in the cemetery. Usually when people die, that makes sense, because then they will, visit their loved ones that have passed away. And sometimes now the cemetery is just a big empty space, so it's a nice place to just stand and daydream, I would suppose. Now with the well, I would suppose that would be the equivalent of taking a coffee break from work, where they go to the well to drink a little bit of water. As well as the well, it functions as a fire station that can put out fire, because then every villager in a certain radius will then go to the well and try to extinguish the fire. It is not very useful having a well close to the water, because then the villagers will just go to the water and try to extinguish the fire in that certain building that is very close to it. But if you're far away from from water, I see now that there's a small river over here though, so, but aesthetically wise, it looks nice. And for example, the tailor and blacksmith will have very usefulness of having the well this close. It also makes sense, I feel, you know, that the blacksmith and the tailor actually have a well this close, because then they don't have to go to the river to get water for whatever, you know. The tailor usually sometimes have to tan and wash the leather so they can, you know, produce hide coats. And I always assume that the blacksmith, you know, they need water to, you know, when I'm gonna make tools. And I would suppose, you know, if they had been military ways in this game, they would have to use water to, you know, make swords and, you know, make sure they cool down the metal. So aesthetically wise, this would look very nice indeed. And you know what, while we're at it, to give it a very nice look, I think we should have the town hall here. I'm gonna pause that, and we're gonna do this, and finally do that, and then we're gonna have a big, beautiful, lovely town square with a lot of stone that's going to be wasted technically, but it will look smashingly nice. And a well that will be here. And I would most likely then, for example, put orchards here. I might think of it a little bit. And then we can have some things next to the cemetery. It won't really be of much use, but it will be nice having the town hall here, because then nomads will eventually show up, and I can also get an overview of how my town and city, well, more village, but it will become a city, are doing. Currently I got 45 members, so 45... that's something I really like about this game, is that the town hall will give you every information about your village, of statistics, how much you have of every single resource, and how many people you have in the city, etc. If you don't want to build a town hall yet, because, you know, it brings nomads, it can bring disease with it, because the nomads then arrives, that's why you need a hospital. But if you don't want to build a town hall, because it does require a lot of resources, you can then build a chapel, because you do get, first of all, it helps with the happiness. It only requires 50 wood, 130 stone and 30 iron, that's about the same, but you won't then have to build a town hall. And it also brings happiness, and if people die, the people that are in family with the said deceased person, then they won't be sad, because they can go to the priest to get consolation, and you have the cemetery. So the chapel function as a sort of like a mini town hall in the beginning, because you can get a rough estimation of how many people of population you have, up to 200. After 200 members, you have to build another chapel, because then you can't have more members in a chapel. So in that sense, it is very nice actually, and very useful getting the chapel, because you have the cleric, you have the happiness boost that comes along with it, and you will make sure that the happiness is maintained. I don't think it affects the health, but I would assume it does. You know, it will make, for example, mental health, which then goes to happiness. So, yeah. Logic-wise, that didn't really make sense for me. Indeed. Okay. I got 4 people on this. I got 100 stone and 63 stored iron. People are gathering the resources from this place. I really like that I have the stone road here now, because that will save me a lot of time when they actually move to get the resources. The stone roads are being built at this place. They will move much faster going back and forth here. They have not placed any resources there. Fantastic. I'll save a lot from that. And how are the population size? I got a 14-year-old there, a 15-year-old student there, a 16-year-old student, 11-year-old student, a 17-year-old laborer, 2 17-year-old laborers, and I might have to consider getting another house. Yes, that might be a prudent idea. I might then build a house in this place here to just don't really give a crap about the closeness to the school. You know, there are windows there, but they have a small playing ground here, and they can go play around over this size. So yeah, I am considering building a house here. That will that will allow me to get roads along this side here, and I can get a more closer knitted society, because then I won't have that much farther of going to the... You know what? Yeah, we're gonna build a house here. It's gonna be tightly nipped into the corner here. Oh right, I'm gonna have to build a road as well. We're gonna go with stone. We're gonna go with stone as well. Stone will be very useful. It makes things go much faster, and it looks good as well. That's what I like about the mod I have, because I have the more stone per rock mod, so it is actually now useful getting stone, and I won't run out of stone this quickly, because that was the problem before with the just vanilla thing of the game, is that you run out of stone very, very fast on the map, so you're gonna have to build quarries, but the amount of stone you're gonna get from a quarry is very slow, the build-up. I'm getting very technical here. I'm not that good at this game in the essence, but I just end up talking about it in generalness. I'm gonna get one person here working on the trading post, because I don't have anything I want to actually put into the trading post yet. Now we're out of corn, but we still have a lot of cabbage. A lot of the people have been fetching cabbage for their homes. No, we run out of cabbage. Some of the housings have cabbage now, and it's a bit sad when you think of it that most of these people eat better than most of us, especially students. Berries, fish, roots, venison, mushroom, cabbage, and onions. I should buy myself a dinner soon. But due to my jaw, I have to make it into soup. Right. Oh well. Soup is good as well, though. I mean, if you have enough spices and enough variety of vegetables, soup can be very good for several days. Doesn't really matter then if it is a vegetable or if it is with meat in it. So yeah. I might actually now call it a day on the stream a little bit in a short while, because I have been streaming for about an hour soon, and I didn't plan on getting that much streaming done today, because, you know, I still technically have the exams on Monday. I have several exams, but only one exam on Monday. Singular, not plural. Gotta remember the subject-verb agreement there, if that's the correct term of it. So yeah, I got the English grammar exam on Monday, the 28th, 8th, the 28th, the 28th. Is it 28th or 28th? Not certain, actually. Whatever. Okay. We're currently at spring. I have forgotten to get crop fields. It's spring. It's not early spring. It's too late. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to go along with it. I am considering... Okay, so now we have 16-year-old and an 18-year-old. Okay, so let's see. What do we have in the terms of people? A 14-year-old student, a 15-year-old student, a 17-year-old woodcutter. So I can actually get one more house, because that student is 15-year-old. Indeed, we are actually getting a nice population boom here. I'll get one more house and do a bit of increased priority. Put 2 more people on road building, then gonna get this road finished. These resources will be harvested. Yeah, you know what? We're just gonna do this and get these resources. It will take a while. It's gonna take a lot of time to get this done, but I feel confident that we will have enough time. We're gonna have enough tools. We're gonna have enough clothing, food. We are... I'm gonna turn up amount here, and the same goes with the hunting cabin, the forester lodge, and that will be still the same. Should I get another different type of food source? What else do I have? I can't get a pasture yet because it requires me to have animals. I got fishing dock. I have hunting cabin. I don't need any more on the fishing dock because I get approximately 500 fish every season, and at the current time that is enough to sustain this because people don't really eat that much fish. Understandable, after a while you do get tired of fish and you want to mix it up a little bit. That's why we got venison. Got a lot of leather. We got storage barn there. I might have to go for an extra stockpile. I do have 2 stockpiles and I still have a lot of room for it, but I might considering having a stockpile over this place, so it is a little bit closer for them to walk over there. If so, I would have to put the stockpile here. But that's the thing, once I put a stockpile down, I'll have to commit to it, because if I then remove the stockpile, a lot of the resources will either be missed, or they will have to be relocated to another stockpile, which will then probably fill it up more than necessary, which will then removes the purpose of having an extra stockpile. There's a lot of thinking to Banished. You know, because I can build this and then change the build order later so I can get a different looking city, but it will take time, resources, and I could have used those resources and that build power and time on other expansions. So a lot of the times I want to make sure that my predetermined build planning is something that I can sit afterwards and think, yes, this is something I want to commit to, this is something I want to just have forever. For example, I'm most likely going to make sure that I have traders along this side, along here, so I can get at least 6 trade posts, or trading posts, because in the future, hopefully, when I get this place to become a sprawling city of immense size of, hopefully I can do that, what I did with 1,500 to 1,600 in population. What will end up being the result is that I can get a lot of people working at the trading post, and I can technically rely on trade, because at one point what I did is that I had almost an entire village, an entire expansion, for example, let's say up this corner, where everything was just log cutters or log cabins, and I had people that chopped it up into firewood. I transported the firewood to the trade posts, and I used the firewood to trade with the trader so I can get food and other materials that I needed, because firewood is very valuable. It's worth 1 unit of firewood, basically like 1 piece of wood that you can use to light a fire with, is worth 4 standard other units. So let's say I want 4 potatoes, okay, pay 1 firewood. So it pays off in the end, because you can just constantly reseed the trees. That said, I do try to get every single expansion to be independent. I do really honestly try to just get this will be my capital. I will expand into this area here, getting it nice and big, and try to get it as big as possible. I consider every marketplace to be a new expansion, because the marketplace, it's such a big investment, because then they take a lot of resources to that market. So that's also why I then enjoy getting, for example, 1 or 2 houses up here first, so that during the winter it will then be a little bit short on food, because they have to then get, most likely sometimes I've seen they just go to the storage barn, then they don't go to the marketplace since it's not inside the sphere of influence, and the diet will be a little bit worse off than others, but you will have access to firewood. The positive thing about firewood then is that if people work, let's say over here, and they get cold, they don't have to walk all the way back here to their house. If they're cold and they're starting to freeze, they will go to the nearest house to warm themselves. I think the same thing if they are almost starving, they will just go to the nearest house and just eat and just steal food, which is then very useful. And fish is also a very nice resource that I can use to get and use for trade, because I can use the fishing docks to they are only worth one unit. So 4,000 fish, then I can get 4,000 of something of equal value or less if they're worth more. So let's say 4,000 fish for 4,000 potatoes. So it's... But fish is... I don't remember if I can overfish. I think you can. If you put 4 people on the fishing dock for a few years, you will be able to get a ton of fish. But I don't know, but at least it feels like you get a lower amount of fish if you just keep fishing constantly all the time with 4 people on the fishing dock. So that's why I tend to just enjoy having 1 or 2 people, because over a longer period of time it will work better, I feel at least. So yeah. I remember when I first tried to play this game, I had... I think I had like 4 or 5 saves in total. It was very fascinating and interesting because I had... what was it? I think it was... 3 of the saves that I had went to complete catastrophical failure. Because it ended up that everyone died, either because one time I forgot to build a tailor, which meant people didn't have clothing, which meant they froze to death as they were working. It was very nice and lovely. One time I didn't build enough food, which made people starve to death. And the third time, a tornado ravaged through the entire countryside, destroying every single house I had, because it went in a perfect line, destroying every house I had, because I still hadn't built that much yet. So I had 1 adult and 1 baby left, where both were male, so it was impossible for me to repopulate. So they kind of just wandered around aimlessly. And the happiness trig of you have 5 stars. The star were down to 1 star. They were completely, utterly miserable, which is understandable. Everyone they knew and loved at that point had died from being sucked into a tornado. And I don't remember this because I don't want to say they did that because I don't remember. But if the happiness level is too low, I think a game mechanic is that people can commit suicide. They can kill themselves if they get too depressed, which is why I always want to keep the average happiness of citizen high enough. The same goes with the health. If the health is very low, the ending result will be that people will be more susceptible to disease and they might just die either from childbirth more easily, etc, etc, etc. So yeah, you have a lot to think about when you play Banished, but at the same time I love it because it is a higher learning curve, but once you get the basic of it, it has a much more easier learning curve, because once you know the logic behind the game itself, you can tailor your game style to it, to what you feel is comfortable. You can also find mods that suit your playing style. For example, me, I like to mostly in a certain sense play vanilla, if just the normal game, but I have some extra resource mods that gives me a little bit extra, so it's easier to build it. And for example, when you build roads in the normal game, you don't walk that fast. This is normal, just normal speed. You walk half as slow, even on stone roads, which tells you a little bit that roads weren't that useful actually, almost. Now that I had a mod that makes everything go 50% faster, it actually works as an incentive to making me want to build roads, because now having roads is actually effective of getting resources, and also it makes more sense that, you know, you can see that they walk fairly slow when they're not on a road, but now as you can see they move immensely faster on a stone road, which then gives me a more interest in actually getting a stone road. And it also gives me a more possibility of actually expanding with more success, because then people won't just chop down one tree, go home, eat, deliver resources and then go back. They will actually have time to do more. And it also stacks up if you then give them warm coats during the winter, so that they will be able to stay out longer, so then they will only be affected by their hunger, and so on and so on. And I love that about the game, that it's so intricate, it's so advanced, but at the same time it is so simple in its design, in its execution, that you are so shocked when you first see that it's actually really hard. You get so impressed at the fact that one guy primarily in the sense made the game. From what I understood, you will get help from people, but he made, like, the guy that is behind the game itself, he was the one that, like, on the majority. I don't know how much he made of how much he was behind the game itself. But this is just a rumor, I don't know, but up to 80 or 90% of the game were just made by him. And that shocks me that one guy, if that is true, that one guy can make a game which is, in my opinion, tends to be almost better than... It is a bit like being a bit mean here, because I have bought it, I do enjoy it, but the game Star Wars Battlefront from EA, Electronic Arts, graphic-wise, sound-wise, music-wise, fantastic game. If you go in for the graphic quality, definitely worth the buy. But the problem is that with Star Wars Battlefront for EA, it gets so repetitive. I played for 1 or 2 matches, and after that it's... okay, I gotta stop now, this is boring. And then I wait 2 weeks or more, and then I go back to play it a little bit more. And sure, it is fun, but it kind of also ruins the immersion that you want more. You wish for single player, you wish for something else in the game other than online. As a purely online game, Star Wars Battlefront for EA works. It is a functional game, but after having Star Wars Battlefront, the first game, and Star Wars Battlefront 2, and then you feel it almost was downgraded, they just upped the graphics. It just feels odd. Whereas this game, yes, it is simple. Yes, it is repetitive in the sense that it is a survival game, it is a sandbox game in that sense, since there are no particular goal other than to survive. But at the same time, that's what it advertised as. It doesn't say that we're gonna have this, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have this. It basically says that it is a survival game, it is a sandbox. How long can you survive? If this is the sort of game you like, fantastic, then go for it. This is the game to go for then. It doesn't say a lot of things that, it's gonna be the best game ever. It just like, hey, I made a game, what do you think about it? It is a city/building survival game. Almost like if you had Minecraft in RTS form. Because you have people, they need to eat, they need to stay warm, they need housing, but you also need to survive. But you also have to build city, get an infrastructure, get people that can actually get food. You need a chapel to make people happy, people die. You gotta make sure that they're healthy, and avoid poisoning and stuff like that. You gotta make sure they're educated. So there's so much behind this, even though it's so simple. The graphics might not be the most impressive. It is very, in that sense, if you, for example, had compared it to a game like Star Wars Battlefront, yes, the graphics would be considered horrible. But I feel that is the charm. It is simplistic. It bases its whole game style on being simplistic and charming, especially combined with the soundtrack. I really, with my whole heart, I sometimes just, when I study, I just go to YouTube and find the soundtrack, because I would love to buy the music if I can find it. I've just been slightly lazy, but so yeah, I should find a way to actually buy the music legally, because this is actually a game that I want to support. I try to have that as a policy, that I always try to buy the things that I actually, going to listen to. It has been a few times that I have, for example, there was this one time that I don't know if it was legal or not, but an associate of mine, or former friend, I don't know what you would call it, I at least knew someone before, he gave me a copy of a video editing program that I used to have on my computer, that I used to edit videos when I uploaded it to YouTube. And he said he got it from his university, but now I'm wondering about that, if it was not legal, because he said you can't do this and this and that, because then you'll log into the server, which you should not do. And But I agree to a certain extent that I want to get it in the future. So in that sense, I really like it when companies give you a trial period. For example, Sony Vegas Pro, they give you a trial period for their video editing software for, it depends, I think it was 2 or 4 weeks. And that I really like, because then you can see what they have to offer. For example, Adobe CC Pro editing program, it's fantastic. I've tried it. But that's because that's the program I got from the guy I knew. But they don't have a trial period. And it's really frustrating, because you either have to commit and buy the product, or not, and just look at what other people say with reviews and stuff like that. And sometimes reviews can either be biased, or they can be a little bit off-putting. You don't know if it's actually any truth behind it. So yeah. So in that sense, I you know, that's what I'm trying to say for this, is that I like to, for example, get a sense of what I'm actually buying before I actually buy it. So I have sometimes, yeah, been using illegal copies of stuff to see what it is like before I actually buy it, but usually then by that time, if I get an illegal copy, I tend to buy it shortly thereafter, because I just want to see, I'm very certain I want to buy this, but I want to see what it is like, just in case. And if it is not something I don't like, and for example, there was this program called Lightworks, they do have a free version, but you can also pay for a version. But I, for example, didn't like it. I uninstalled it. I tried Sony Vegas Pro. Fantastic software. It does cost about a lot of money, but then at least know what I know it. I know what it is like. I like it, and etc. So yeah. Okay, so we have a lot of iron. We have a lot of stone. Now I'm gonna actually talk a little bit about the game again. And I'm gonna turn on this and get the well online, well, up and running, or built. I suppose the better word for it is. We still have a lot of people getting stuff here. Now then, let's see the age of people. How old are most people now? We have 13-year-old students, 13-year-old students, 11 and 19, 10-year-old girl, 15-year-old boy, 14-year-old girl. And yes, we can go for one more house then, actually. And I'm going to go, since we have enough resources, actually, since they now are taking a lot of resources to fill up that stone. But this stone house requires 40 stone, but I have enough stone. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to place a stone house here. And right next to the town hall, that also has a small spire, I would like to get the stone house. There we go. I'm gonna put it like that, because that will look very nice. We're gonna get a few extra people, build that, and once I get through this season, I will end the stream, so that, you know, it doesn't go on too long, because I also feel a little bit peckish, hungry and stuff like that, so I will have to require some sustenance and food in my system. And now people are building the well. Fantastic. Then we'll at least have this town plaza fireproof and fire safe. I do hope that it doesn't happen, or what has sometimes happened is that the road mod sometimes do mess up the fire extinguishing sequence, because sometimes I have seen they go to a certain corner of the building and put down the bucket of water to represent that they are trying to extinguish the fire. Sometimes they get stuck. That is something to be very careful of. If that's what I used to have the mod of 75% speed increase on the roads, but that ended up them becoming very, very fast, which sometimes it almost felt that it chipped into the building, so that they wouldn't actually extinguish the fire. They would put away the bucket and they would just stand there, and then more villagers had to come in. So it was a very inefficient way of dousing the fire. So I hope at least that the 50% road speed will not actually affect the effectiveness of extinguishing fires. I will have to see. If that is so, then we'll have to find the mod that has 25% increase, and while that may decrease productivity, I will have to see what I have to weigh up. Is it worth to just have better productivity because they can work, move faster on the roads, or is it better to be able to extinguish fire faster? I will have to think about it if it happens actually, because it is a lot of wood houses. They may spread, the fire may spread quite a lot, and this schoolhouse is surrounded by wood houses. So if any fire starts here, that schoolhouse is in severe amount of trouble. I might at one point, when I get a bigger population, go with one more schoolhouse, even though I haven't capped the student limit, just in case, because then the students will transfer over to the other school and I won't lose a lot of potential labor force to not be educated. So yeah, that is a it is a gamble. It is a gamble how I build sometimes, because it will affect the potential dangers. So that's usually why I also like building a city or a village, or an expansion as I call it, into city sections. So I have a row of house workplaces strategically placed around that area where the houses are, and then another one a little bit further away, and then another one further away in a like a circular motion around the marketplace. And usually between certain expansion points, I tend to put down a boarding house, because either if nomads or people that, let's say during a fire, I'm going to upgrade a house, people become homeless and all the other houses are filled up, they have nowhere else to live, and let's say it's winter, they will start to freeze. I can then have a boarding house, which will then make them, at least temporarily, move into the boarding house, and it will help at least making sure that they have somewhere to stay, they will have food, firewood to keep them warm, etc, etc. So yeah, there we go. That house has been completed. Oh, I feel so wrong. A 20-year-old guy and a 14-year-old girl. It would still feel wrong if it was a 20-year-old woman and a 14-year-old guy. Okay, never mind. It's 15-year-old girl. Haha! Yeah, that was a terrible joke, but okay. So, okay, now we got 12 laborers actually, so we might actually have to step up the game in what we're actually gonna have to produce in the future. It is early autumn, and now I got a lot of laborers working at this area here. I might just prioritize this. Yeah, this will help me, because then I think actually I want the villages to have this as an agricultural zone, because then they have workplaces from the capital, and then the workplaces for a new expansion. So what I will do is that this road is a little bit offside, so to make sure there are symmetry here, I will do this, and it will kind of break it a little bit, but I will put double roads down and plan ahead how I will get the, let's see, the marketplace can reach out there, so I can get farms up to this point. Okay, so I gotta check. Here is the end of that, so I'm gonna do that to mark how far out the roads go there, and then put down 7x7 crop fields and one space in between 7x7 crop fields, because that will make me able to get roads in a cross patterns between each each farm, which will then increase productivity, because then they don't have to walk that slow between the farms itself, and they can choose to walk then on the roads to get to their workplace. Yay! We are actually making good plans here, because since I haven't told the farms to work yet, I don't have to assign any workers, and it won't look that odd yet. Okay, so now we're gonna need at least let's see, there we go, and 7x7. Let's say we have 6 on that side, or should we increase it to, should we do that? We could have it 9 on this side if we do that, and 9, 9, 7 by 7. So we get a big agricultural area here. So we can have basic different productions options. That is actually very cool, because then we can have the ability to have, let's say, if we get more different varieties of food, we can have corn, cabbage, potatoes. That's what I love to do. I love to make patterns here. And it's not technically necessary yet, but we do have a lot of stone. Why is the 4 builders necessary? Where is the... Oh, right. It requires people to remove here. Might as well just do it. Put 4 people here. There are people that are going to remove the resources. I have enough stone. I'm going to start the planning of the stone roads between this area. It will take a while, but once I do this, it is a future investment for the town. And it also helps me plan of how I want the houses to be built around the production of the city. Now that I do this, I can check to see where there we go. And once I do, I'm going to stop the removal of resources here, because then I can get the roads down. Fantastic. This is going to look amazingly nice and symmetrical. There we go. We have the square grid all planned out, and I could either put the houses in this kind of pattern all the way along this line and have a small space between some of the roads so I can get closer to the marketplace, and one well just in case there's a fire. And I could have the boarding house here. That would look nice though. You walk around over the bridge and you get close to the boarding house. That will be close to both the expansions. I won't build with it yet though, but it will be nice having it there, so I at least know that that's where I want to have it planned. And the houses... These tunnels will work rather well, because then I can have a few houses on this side, and I can have... Will the gatherer's hut be big enough? Yes, so I can have a gatherer's hut, hunting lodge, and a forester lodge on this side, and then the tunnels and a road over here will allow me to get better roads. And then I could also, just for good measure sake, have a what do you call it? Bridge over on strategic placed places here, so people can get over. Yeah, that could actually work. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Okay. So, houses. How should we get to houses? I'm not too certain. Let's see. If you guys that are in the stream have any preference on how you prefer me to actually build, I'm always open for input, because it is nice if you guys have any ideas of how I could build this. Because I do want to sometimes make it... well, I'm sometimes unsure about myself, the ideas of how I can actually do it. So it is nice getting input from other people. I'm going to turn it down to 3 people, then I get 10 people collecting resources. I still have enough stone, enough iron. Starting to get a little bit low on tools. So one guy, put it up to 100 and... let's go to 200. And we have one guy here. What types of food do we have a lot of? Now we're going to a little bit lower on fish, which means that the population increases. One extra guy on the fishing dock then. And here we are 4 on the gatherer's hut. That's good. We still have a lot of herbs. That is something that we can sell. Yeah. We are going to need to plan more food production in the future, which is why it's very nice that we have that once we get more sorted out. Okay. Smashing! I'm gonna then move a few of the herbs, because they do take a little bit of space. So I'm gonna take 200 herbs to the trading post, so I have something to trade, just in case the trader does decide to show up. So far it doesn't look like the trader arrives? It does take a few seasons before the trader actually shows up. I'm not sure the game mechanic of how many seasons, but you have to have the trading post up for, I think it was at least 2 or 3 seasons, and after that the trader will, the game will recognize that, oh, you have a trader, and you will also by then, I suppose, also get some items inside the trading post, as the trading post also does function as a very nice storage barn. If, let's say, the storage barn is getting a little bit full, oh, there's 800 leather and nothing else of any sort of other kind, you can just take a lot of leather into the storage barn or the trading post to ease up some of the space for other items. Still 50% full on the market though, so we do have a lot of food still available for people. We have now currently 814 amount of stored firewood. I'm gonna remove you because we will be able to survive through this winter. And since I have slowly now been increasing the stone houses, they won't use firewood as fast. And I actually think that that would be a nice investment for the future. People are getting a little bit older now, so it is nice to just keep the expansion of more houses, as people will then increase the families. But as people will die, the houses will start going, you know, they will be more empty. So it will be a good idea then to, you know, those people will then move into empty houses, if I at least remember correctly. I got a 17-year-old guy that is a gatherer and a 14-year-old student. I can get one more house and my... yeah, I'm gonna get one more stone house. And this is gonna be the tower district. Yeah, this whole row over here is gonna be a tower district. Right next to the town hall. So the main boulevard down to the marketplace next to the town hall is going to be the town tower district. So that's going to be cool looking. So we're going to turn that up so we have at least some people still working on roads. So we're going to get a nice centralized road system over here. That'll help people get more resources, and they will be able to... okay, so we have enough iron. So I'm going to stop the gathering of iron in this area, but focus on the stone. There's some stone over here as well. Where else can I get stone without having to walk too far? Not too certain about it, but we can go over there. And the stone here will be gathered after a while, hopefully. Same with this. Okay, so... it will take a bit of while now, but this will allow us to get a little bit extra stone. There we go. And 6 people, it should technically be enough. So it's late autumn, we can speed things up now since we have projects that are currently in effect. The stone, I think we will have enough stone for this road over here and the stone house. We have 68 stone left. This will be enough here as we're still gathering in stone. Yes, I think this will be more than enough. Fantastic. Okay, soon we'll have an extra stone house up and running. I think that will make someone else move in so we can get more families. Then I'll plus it up to times 10. Just get this house finished. And yes, the 15-year-old girl and the 17-year-old guy moved in together. We have an 18-year-old guy and a 14-year-old girl. I can build one more house. This will strain my food production, which will require me to... I think we'll have to get a gatherer's hut, at least a temporary one down here. Yeah, I will have to get a forester lodge around here. It will not be optimal and ideal, as I don't want them to start walking around here to get together food over here, so we'll have to put the... I can put the gatherer's hut here. There we go. And the forester lodge like that, because then it will still just be close to the river. They won't have to go over. Yeah, that sounds good. That way I can get extra people on the gatherer's hut. If I then put some houses here, Yes, that could work smashingly. Oh, listen to that music. I don't know if you guys can hear it. The piano playing. Best type of relaxation music. Okay, so we're gonna place down some roads over there. The marketplace can reach to that point, which will enable me to get a house there, there, and there, and a little bit close enough, I think. And I'm gonna put there, there, and there. Pause these buildings so that I don't try to build everything. And that could work. I'm gonna need... Oh, no. There we go. And once they build the 2 houses down here, will we have enough people moving in over there though? That is the question. Otherwise I have to pause. And I got a 14-year-old girl there. Oh. Don't I have enough people here? An 18-year-old guy there, 15-year-old girl there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pause one of these houses. So I'm gonna pause this house and get it down to 2 like... I'm gonna have it like that. Okay. And we have 8 laborers. They will keep gathering resources for us. We still have stone. I'm going to get the resources to go down like this, so they will go in between there and get as close as possible. Would you actually function properly? Okay, so there we go. There we go. There we go. This is basically just to make sure that if they prefer going over here, they will be able to go in a cross pattern. There we go. And just so that they will have easier work times walking around the building. I don't think it's necessary, but, you know, again, for symmetry's sake, I like it. It looks nice. Okay, so now we got 4 builders. I'm gonna put 6 laborers, 6 builders. Then I have 2 people working on the house. And that will be inside the marketplace. They will then go to the marketplace to get food and firewood. We still have enough food to get some extra more houses. And after I manage to get this extra food production, that will enable me to get enough villagers, which will enable me to get the next expansion, which will then focus, I would say, primarily on food production. Because if I have houses along this side here, along this side, and for example a tailor and blacksmith here, and houses alongside this line so that they can get close to the workplace, then I can have some woodcutters or log cutters here so I can get more firewood, stockpile. Yeah, this is a good plan. Hold shift to make diagonal road. Oh, that I did not... Wait a minute, what? Oh, that is clever. Thank you, sir. I had no idea about that. That makes it so much easier. Hats off to you, JFC. Hats off indeed, or my hair lifted for you. Okay. Oh, that has been a thorn in my backside ever since they started to walk sideways or diagonally. So thank you so much for that. That will make things way easier in creating the town. So now it's winter time. We're just going to speed things up because in the beginning things are going to go rather slow and tedious until we can get everything built and planned ahead. Still need that stone though, so we might as well say that people go and gather stone over here. Since we might as well gather stone from this place. Might as well do it over there as well. Okay, so now that we have a lot of stone gathering planned, we have a lot of builders then going to make the roads. And let's have 5 or 3 people on the roads, 2 that build a house. They will now be done. People will move in. People will move in. There we go, people are moved in. And then I can get the gatherer's hut planned. I'm gonna do 3, 4, 5 like that. Then they will be assigned immediately to that. 2 then on building roads, which is a nice change of pace. I have speed 5. Food is doing okay. We're actually increasing a little bit. I think that is due to the fish though. How much fish have we managed to get? Yes, we are increasing the production of fish, but we do get more houses, so it will make increase in productivity and increase in consumption. Yeah, it is nice. I really love that. That's something I actually really love about the Twitch, that I can get immediate advice from you guys. So that I can, because I still learn a lot when it comes to this game. There's a lot of things I still have to learn and tweak about and change tactics and all that stuff. So yeah. Okay, we have soon finished the road network over here. Did I forget to build road here? That is regrettable. Gotta get that symmetry going. And 9 crop fields should be decent. At least in the beginning. That should give me an option. Because 3, 6, 9. Yes, so for example 5 on corn, 4 on cabbage. Yes, that could work. Still a lot of stone. And I'm gonna increase priority for the road here. I don't think this works though on roads, but just in case. I'm not sure because it doesn't turn red, so I don't think it works for a road since it just signifies where unmanned builders will go to build road. I think they do it in the sequence that you put down the road though, so it might vary. I don't know. Might as well build that forester lodge while I'm at it. So if I do that and ooh yeah, I'm gonna go for a hunting cabin as well. Then I'm gonna put the hunting cabin there. That's a good thing that I built the road then, because then it will make sense having it here. Gonna get 3 people on that. 5 laborers gathering resources. And just so I can get this area cleared off, I'm gonna assign... Oh, I don't have enough people for that. 1 guy off. And 1 less there. Okay. Because then after that there's some stone here that I can see. So if I can just get this area cleared off, I'm gonna get some stone and some wood. So that will be very useful so I can also see where the marketplace is going to be in the future. There we go. Okay, so we are now back at early spring. And I'm just going to see... I'm always saying this, but I want to see now this completed, and we'll see what it goes from there. That's a problem with this game. It's very addictive in the sense that it's always like 1 more building, 1 more season, 1 more this, 1 more that. And before you know it, 2 hours, 3, 4 hours are passed. But I guess this is usually what people need though. You sometimes need to do these kind of things because you need almost like therapy part of it where you just relax and you just do it so you can just take your time and relax. Oh, a merchant has arrived at the trading post. Fantastic! You came at the smashing time indeed. You have pepper seeds. I don't really have use for pepper. At least not yet. It is useful having it. It's not that. It's just that it is very expensive and at the current time I don't have enough resources that I feel that I want to trade. But I can ask him to order stuff for some next seasons, and that is because I suppose the Norwegian in me is actually taking a little bit over, but I really want potato seeds. So I'm gonna ask him to order that for me. And ooh, it would be lovely getting some wheat though. And I can plan then ahead getting a lot of firewood, so I can pay for the potato seeds and wheat seeds, and that means I need over 1,000 firewood for the trading post though to get 1,000 times 4, 4,000, so I need 1,250 for 5,000, which is then the price. Yeah. I'm gonna ask you to get this just once, order wheat and potato. That means I can get wheat, so in the game I just imagine they can make then, you know, wheat dishes like bread, they can make more intricate food dishes, and the potatoes will be enormously useful in terms of health-wise. The potato is an amazing piece of, wait a minute. Okay, good. I was wondering where he was going. He was going upstream again. Okay, that is fantastic. And that is smashing. And now we have 13 people. We're gonna just put that. People have not yet cleared that area. That is good. Okay, so now we have 2 here. 2 here. That will... I would say that can give us a little bit extra options. And I can then technically increase... to 4, because then I will have 2 people here, 2 people here. Yeah, that could be a good idea. I will then have only 3 laborers. I got 53 stone left. It's gonna be tricky. I won't spend more stone yet, but I will do this with the houses. And after... Oh, yes. Oh, thank you so much. JFC. Oh, this is... Oh, look at that. That is just... that is amazing. Oh, that makes it automatically easier. Oh, before I used to do this, I just stood there and just did this manually, and it was so tiresome. Okay, so that's gonna make things easier. And do we have enough people now that are old enough to move in? Currently, we have a lot of old people living in the old district, or the main capital. A lot of the younger people have moved out because they are rebellious children, young whippersnappers and all that. 2 15-year-old girls, or 14-year-old, 1 16-year-old. Current time, I don't have any boys, though, which is bad. Well, I got a 16-year-old student there, so I can actually build this house here. That is good. Give me that. Give me that shit. Give me that! Build all that stuff. And increase priority here, so that they will clear this area out. And then I can remove the laborers from there. But this will give me some resources that I actually need. So that was good. Child named Myra was born. Fantastic. We need more children. Come on, fornicate as hell. That sounds wrong and a little bit dirty, but... So let's see, we just gotta speed things up. We gotta get this done. We gotta get this done. Food-wise, we're still doing okay. We're getting a little bit of extra food from this source. We are getting food from over here. And yes, I actually will consider the fact of putting down a small stockpile here. It won't be much, but it will be so that I can get some extra wood from this area for the forester lodge, so they don't have to walk that far to put away their logs. I should probably do that, yeah. I'm gonna put down a stockpile here. And same then over here. I'm gonna put a small... where can I put a stockpile? I'm gonna put a stockpile... small stockpile here. That'll help. And I only got 1 storage barn, which means that the gatherer certain will always walk down here. Ooh, centralizing systems will not work with that, so I'm gonna have to get some extra barns as well. Wait a minute, I forgot. No. You are now not going to place more stuff there. No. You're not going to build that yet. I have no use for you, but now that you've been cleared, I can see where you're going to be. But I'm gonna have to get a storage barn down here. That could be good. Get the next storage barn next to Town Plaza. Indeed. And there we go. And then should also have a storage barn down here. Around this area here. Could be useful because that will be inside the marketplace. Yes. You know what? Screw it all. I'm going to do that. Yes. There we got 2 people there, 2 people there, one person. There we go. 2 on each hunting cabin. At the current moment, I don't want you to cut. I just want you to plant because there are not enough trees here yet. I will then rather rely on manual wood cutting, which I can put over here. I still have enough... Oh, now I got plenty of stone. Fantastic. Okay, with that said, I managed to get now the hunting cabin, the forester lodge, and the gatherer's hut up. I have now 2 extra houses, 3 stone houses, and the planning of the... Oh, right. I'm gonna have to change the road composition here in a while, but at the current time, that will not be useful. So, to recap what we have managed to done. We have managed to continue the expansion into the new segment, and we managed to get this placed here for future planning, and we managed to get a little bit extra productivity in the terms of how we're gonna get food, storage barns have been planned, etc, etc. Indeed, smashing and all that stuff. So what I'm going to do now is that I am going to save, and I'm going to end the stream here, because I have now been playing for 1 hour and 47 minutes. Holy! Okay, the time flied by a little bit faster than I expected. So, yeah, but it was really nice. It was very relaxing to just do this, and I do have to say thank you to all of you that actually tuned in on the stream. It's very nice to see people stay, and if you actually enjoy it. And, yeah. Also, thank you so much for the follow. That was that's very flattering. So yeah, with that said though, I'm going to end it here now. So hope you all have a smashing day onwards and all that stuff. I'm going to do that. I think that will work. Yes, indeed. And with that said, did I save? Did I save? Yes, okay, I saved. I always save 2 times or more because I always forget that I saved. Weird enough. But yeah, I'm going to end this here now. So thank you so much for watching this, and I hope you have a fantastic day and week onwards. Good luck with your exams if you study, and if not, good luck with work or whatever you actually are doing at the current time, and plan for the future. Yes. Stuff. So, hope you have a nice evening, and I'll see you all later. Bye.